If I go exceed your expectations, please refer me 3 clients. I invest my marketing dollars into the relationship. You could do things together as you start building your team. They could come in with absolutely no money and come away with a home.
So multiple streams of income for realtors. I've been doing this for a while, and this is something that I definitely have lots of experience in. Just for the fact that I know that the commission is great, especially if you're selling in the San Francisco Bay Area, but there's so much in real estate. I was at a meeting last Wednesday, and the speaker said there is so much more income than commissions to be made. And I'm not here to say that real estate sales is not good, but it's definitely there are other avenues. Like for example, in this meeting, the speaker said that she makes fees on design, she makes fees on the staging, interior design, staging, and she makes money on the commission and the management of the project. So on this huge project, I think the project was around $8 million. So she would get paid at many different levels. So you could also be your own investor or partner up. And I'll be going over through this today. So why multiple streams of income matter? Well, real estate commissions can be inconsistent. Okay. And this is just, even though I support all my realtors, all my friends, and I'm a real estate agent myself and live off commissions. That is my main bread and butter. At least it's been for the last decade and a half. But there are other ways, and I've been working on this, and I'll be sharing with you some of the stories I have and apartment buildings that I've been focused on and then building. But markets shift and affects transaction volume. You probably felt that if this is your season of 2025, I know it has affected you because it affected everyone. And the best realtors, they would make the proper adjustments needed to continue to have a steady stream of income. And whether you're a great agent, but times has changed this last few months, if not the last year for you. So multiple streams of income create stability and security, build long-term wealth beyond closing. So core income versus leveraged income. Say, core income is buyer and seller commissions, like I mentioned. Time for money model. Okay. Leveraged income, earn without being present in every transaction. This is what I'm talking about. If you had an apartment building and you're getting paid while you're asleep because you have tenants, that's the right thing to do. I think every real estate agent, when they get involved in real estate sales, their long-term objective should be what's at the end of the road. Let me give you some wisdom. I've been in this business for over 20 years, and I've seen probably over 90% of real estate agents sell until the end of the road for them because they didn't focus on leveraged income. And that is something that you must focus on and at least think about it. And over the first 10 years of my career, I found lots of great deals. I've created some great deals and I found lots of deals for my clients, made them super rich. And yeah, it was great. I made a commission, but they became wealthy. You see what I'm saying? So after my first 10 years and then the next following, I started thinking about myself and my family. Like, would this property be good for my family? Is there an opportunity for me to buy this property? Would my client be open for me to buy this home? Okay, so I'm just talking about leverage income through rentals. So let's continue on. Scalable and repeatable. The key to financial freedom is leveraged income. Referral income is another way of creating income, referring clients to agents in other cities. You could have your team, one person specifically focus on other agents across the globe. I mean, if you're from the San Francisco Bay Area, we are in a melting pot. And because we're in a melting pot, there are many different cultures and people from around the world that live in the San Francisco Bay Area. So referrals, could come in quite a bit. I just got a referral last Saturday or last Friday, and it was here in San Francisco, over here in Monterey Boulevard, and it's great. I didn't know them. They called me and said, "Hey, I have a client who wants to sell in San Francisco. Can you help them out?" And so I'm gonna get on this listing appointment and let's get that deal, right? Typical referrals around 20 to 35%. I gave up 35% for the referral. Why not, right? I mean, you're talking about San Francisco. Everything's over $1 million. Relocation and investor referral. Past clients moving out of the area. Okay. How to build referral income. Stay in touch with past clients consistently. Ask directly who do you know that's moving. Build a strong agent network nationwide, and get your name out there. And you could spend a little bit of time where you could have your assistant do this. Reach out to others, join some groups that are outside. I mean, if you're a company like EXP, they really, I think there was a few 100,000 referrals over the course of this last year, 2025. Over several 100,000. Okay. Transaction, was it tens of? Anyways, it was a lot of referrals because I was like reading some statistics from the brokerage that I'm with. Anyways, I know Remax has a good referral network. So get with your broker and see what referral networks that they're involved in. Track referrals inside your CRM. So investing real estate ownership. Okay. Buy and hold rental properties. That is, I always talk about this because I'm into stocks, crypto. I have investments. I mean, not like got a lot of it, but I have some. And I think the long hold play is, real estate holdings. It's just a very, it's difficult because you don't make a lot of cash flow, especially if your properties are in California. But the compounding in time, it really catches up in a positive way in the future. Short-term rentals, when you're doing short-term rentals, make sure you're in a city and county that helps promote these short-term rentals. But they're good income. I mean, I have an associate, good friend of mine. He has one or two Airbnbs in Florida at Disney World, or right around there, and he charges anywhere between $600 and $1,500 a night, depending on the season. And he made a theme in every room, and superheroes, whatever the Disney theme is out there, he created each room to represent Disney World. He's doing really well. It's always filled up, and that county supports Airbnb. Fix and flip opportunities, always great to do fix and flips. Get involved, maybe find an investor to partner with. Doesn't hurt to ask them if they're open to partnering up with them. House hacking, live in one unit, rent out the rest. So I this one here really blew my mind. I went to a house that had a push button at every lock, and they had rules, and they had this thing dialed in. They had roughly around 22 people renting in this house, and it was well 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 managed through technology, and their income was anywhere between 14 and 18,000 a month on one single family resident in Daly City, California. That's crazy, right? We could talk if you want to talk more about that. I'd love to chat with you about it because it blows my mind on how well they managed that property, and they had like three or four others, and because that's how they do it in other parts of the country, and they took that same model, brought it right here. I'm sure there was some challenges because if there's 18 people or so inside a home, and then most of them are Uber drivers or so, and you could see the parking issues and the neighbor having problems. But if the house is located on a corner near a shopping mall or there's some parking, hey, hopefully that could fix that problem for complaints from the neighbors. Anyways, let's move on here. Investing beyond buying property. There you go. REITs, real estate investment trusts, syndication. I mean, these are really big. I mean, I know a few. If you like the syndication type of investing where you're part of a group, I know a group here in the local area who are buying like lots of doors, large apartment buildings around the country, and they do syndications and group investments. Private lending, hard money. I mean, this is very common in our industry where you have some money lying around, you want to lend it out, you would be considered a hard money lender. Okay? Partner with investors using your cash deal flows. Another way of creating income in our business is coaching and consulting income. You know, one-on-one coaching is a great way. I mean, you could learn all this. You could even join a coaching company, be a coach, and make some money there. It's good money. Group coaching and masterminds, paid training, workshops, and courses. Monetize your system, scripts, and experience. This here is if you're a great leader, being a coach and consultant would actually be, it's wonderful because the overhead is it's you. And you're just helping others, get their business plan on point, or you're just being accountability partner to them. Affiliate and partner incomes, make sure you check how you do this, but you could partner up with mortgage lenders, insurance providers, home warranty companies, moving companies, staging companies, cleaning companies, vendors, plumbers, contractors. And so some of the platforms out there, the tech companies, they offer affiliate programs. Okay. So, and you could make some money, a little bit of money on these. So, make sure you understand the laws in whatever state and county you're in. Personal brand fuels all income streams. Okay. People do business with agents that they trust. Social media builds authority. That's why it's very important to be on social media. And it depends on your direction too, right? I had a consulting meeting this last 4 days ago or so, and they asked me what are my objectives and why I'm on social media, and it really opened my eyes on like what it is I'm trying to do. I mean, because one of the questions goes, "Do you ever want to be a pure luxury agent, Jeff?" And I said, I'm hesitant on it, and because I like to work with the people that I associate with growing up, because that's where the mass of my business is. And so by changing my niche, then that means I have to work extra hard. And I'm already at the senior age. I'm 55. Maybe I should have disclosed that, but I'm older. And so, do I have another chapter of going to the next level right now? I think I'd rather own a bunch of apartment buildings and continue with my rental program. But I'm not going to say I'm not, because if I ended up with a great partner who had luxury connections and the whole, 50% of the puzzle, then maybe. So anyways, let's continue on. Video creates connections at scale. Your brand attracts referrals, partners, and clients. So making your brand and knowing what your brand is about. Systems and automation. This is really important, right? CRM to track referrals and partners, automate follow-up campaigns. Okay, these are all automated, okay? So once you have your plan and then you can automate everything, then from there you just get to work, right? And the good thing about this, if you don't have a remote worker or a virtual assistant, as people call them, then get one. Because if you're running a business, you want to make sure that they are doing a lot of your admin work. Because if they're not doing it, then you're doing it. And if you're an entrepreneur, agent, and you want to create multiple streams of income, then having an assistant is just important. I mean, just being a real estate agent is hard enough, right? I mean, just to do a transaction, there's a 400 point checklist that you have to go through And your clients don't know this, but when dealing with your clients, this is a side note. I mean, you got to tell your client, there's 400 things to do to close this deal, because some clients, whether you're representing a buyer or a seller, wouldn't even know how hard you work just to close a deal. And yeah, you deserve to make that 10, 20, 30 grand commission, 40 grand, because it is hard. Clear standard operating procedure for repeatable income. Delegate admin work to stay in production. That's what I just said. How to get started? Start with one additional income stream. And if you want to, if you're conservative like myself, rental properties. And when you buy rental properties, I always say the first 6 months is really the toughest, because you're uh, sometimes these rental properties don't make any income. So, and then you're outlaying income. So, you gotta plan for that. You come across looking for the tenant, and preparing the home, fixing a few things, getting it rentable condition. That all costs money. And then, of course, when you're cash flowing, if you're doing this in California, your cash flow might be little to none. You might even be negative, right? So, but the long-term effect of it is amazing. And there was one there was one broker in my previous company I was with. I was an agent there. He gave me the worst advice. That's why I don't trust brokers, because brokers, meaning the one in charge of the brokerage, is because not all of them are honest people, and they don't have your best interests. I had one previous broker. He was amazing. He always said, don't forget to buy properties for yourself. And see, that is genuine. He would even actually sit down and talk to you about it. The other broker I used to work for, not going to name names, but he gave me poor advice. I had a 35 unit apartment building, and I didn't, I was new, and every season there was a change of either furnaces or air conditionings, right? Summer was air conditionings, furnaces were at during the winter. And it I had some stumbles along the way, but he told me to get rid of it because it's affecting my real estate sales. To some degree, I don't really believe that was true. Um, and so I got rid of it. And today I regret it, because I just was probably another 1 month to 2 months away of really making some good cash flow, and having that property probably close to being paid off. But anyways, reinvest commission strategically, and review progress quarterly. Here's some final takeaways. Use your commission. Be a hard worker. Real estate sales is amazing, and it should be amazing. You should enjoy it. Always have several escrows in escrow, because they fall out. I just had a fallout this morning, unfortunately. We're representing the seller. The buyer just couldn't, get a bathroom in one of the. They were going to turn the shed into ADU, and I wish they would have told me earlier. But it wasn't a raised shed, and usually sheds are straight onto the concrete. But so they backed out. I'm still waiting for the cancellation now, but that's just the way it goes, right? Got a beautiful property. I'm sure a buyer is going to fall in love with it here shortly. Leverage builds wealth. Okay. Leverage builds wealth. Remember that. Think like a business owner, not just an agent. Super important about this, because business owners, they think of a team, a staff, leverage. So your real estate license is a platform. So use it. Like I said, there was a agent that spoke last Wednesday, and she really hit home. And she converts apartment buildings into TICs, or condominiums. She could turn a single family resident into condos. So there's multiple ways, and because in San Francisco there's really not any land that you could buy, so you have to get creative with what's there in front of you. And so I'm getting something in San Francisco that's probably could be built out, either a flip or turn into TIC. So we'll see. Anyways, I want to thank you for coming on this Monday. That was a really great topic because we have to think like an entrepreneur. We must be an entrepreneur because I don't really suggest selling real estate until the end of time, and that's your only income. I really suggest you diversify accordingly, use your license right, sell a bunch of homes, sell as many homes, do it as long as you can, but also invest it back into the real estate biz. So, anyways, until next time, thank you so much, and we'll talk soon.